What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Tropical NHL back at it again for a brand new YouTube video. Today we're going to be looking at the Montreal Canadiens draft, and we're going to be looking at who will they be drafting depending on the position they're going to be having at the draft. You know where the draft lottery is going to happen? May 8th is probably one of the most important thing when you're in a rebuild. Yes, the tank is important, but if you don't get lucky at the lottery, it will all be for nothing. So today we're going to be looking at the Montreal Canadiens odds and who will they be picking depending on where they're going to draft. So yeah, before getting into the video, I invite you guys to subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get the 5K subscribers before the summer. 21st of June, that's the date. So since 75% of people watching the videos aren't subscribed, I'm pretty confident that we can do it if y'all help me out. So yeah, let's get right into the subject of the video. So yeah, the Montreal Canadiens finished at the 28th position this year in the National Hockey League. So that means they finished 5th last in the NHL. And at that position, you get some pretty good odds to draft a really good player. It gives them a 17% chance of drafting in the top 2 and a 45% chance of drafting in the top 5. So yeah, if we get lucky, we get a top 2. If not, we get a top 5, and that would be a really good step in the right direction for the Habs' future. On top of that, like y'all know it, this draft is absolutely stacked up with a lot of prospects. So definitely the Montreal Canadiens are in a really nice position for the draft. And I made a list on Twitter. By the way, if you don't follow me on Twitter, what are you doing? Go follow me on Twitter. It's at Tropical NHL. I made a list on Twitter on who I think the Montreal will draft depending on their position with the odds of getting that position. This is what the infos I have. I've talked with people that know prospects a lot, know what the Canadiens want. And with the infos I have, this is what it's going to look like for now. Things can still change a lot. I mean, the Montreal Canadiens management is still going to scout those young guys, so the position might change. But logically, for now, when you look at their need and who they really like, this is what's most logical for me. This is what I said. This is who the Habs are going to be drafting depending on what's going to happen at the lottery with the infos we have now. So at first, obviously, Connor Bedard at 8.5%. Fantilli at second overall at 8.6. Leo Carlson at third position, third overall at 0.3. This is really unlikely to happen. I don't even know where the 0.3% chance come from. Well, yeah, in the statistics, you see 0.3, but like, yeah, it's practically impossible. Fourth overall for the Habs is 0%. They can't have it. Fifth overall, Will Smith, who Kent Hughes really like. He knows him pretty well, so it would make a lot of sense at 24.5. And this is going to probably make a lot of people mad, but I've heard by a lot of people that know a lot of stuff that are really reliable in the Canadian space that if the Habs do not get a top 5 pick, so if they don't get the first, second, or fifth overall, they're going to be drafting a defenseman. And that defenseman is going to be David Reinbacher. So yeah, at 6th overall, we have David Reinbacher at 44%. And at 7th overall, we have also David Reinbacher at 14.2. So yeah, when you look at those odds, the player that the Habs are most likely to be drafting is going to be David Reinbacher if they get 6th or 7th overall. And I don't know, a lot of people don't like David Reinbacher. Some people don't even know who he is, but to be honest, if they end up getting 7th overall or even 6th overall, I wouldn't be too mad about drafting this guy. I mean, yes, Zach Benson would probably still be available at 6th or 7th. And yes, he probably has a way better ceiling than David Reinbacher. But David Reinbacher isn't a bad player at all. And for the people that don't know him particularly, we're going to take a look at him. Yeah, David Reinbacher, right-handed defenseman, born in 2004. He's 6'2", 185 pounds. He plays in the Swiss A League. He was born in Austria. He's an Austrian defenseman. This year in 46 games played, he has 3 goals, 19 assists for 22 points, and he is a +7. In the playoffs in 3 games, he has 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. So at 18 years old, playing with adults in the Swiss League, which is a pretty good league, he's been averaging a decent amount of points. Austin Matthews also played in the Swiss A League in his draft year. In 36 games, he got 24 goals, 22 assists for 46 points, but he is a forward. So logically, David Reinbacher is doing really good in the Swiss A League this year. And I know a lot of people are like, no, we need to draft a forward. We need to draft Zach Benson if he's available, blah, blah, blah. I agree. Zach Benson would be a nice addition. If we get Bedard, Fantilli, or Smith, it would be really great as well. But don't sleep on David Reinbacher. He's probably the best defenseman available in this draft. The draft is really stacked up this year, but if he would have been in last year's draft, he probably would have ended up being selected in the top 5. So yeah, ideal situation is either you get Bedard, Fantilli, Smith, or Benson. But if we end up with David Reinbacher, don't be pissed off, because he's going to be good. Scouts compare him a lot to Moritz Seider. And the same thing, when the Detroit Red Wings selected Moritz Seider at 5th overall, people were pissed off about it. People were calling Yzerman dumb. But at the end of the day, it was the right pick to make. And Moritz Seider is going to be one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League. So if the Habs do not get a top 5 and end up drafting David Reinbacher, don't be pissed off. The guy is going to be an absolute stud. And just imagine a first pair in the future. You have the first pair of Lane Hudson, David Reinbacher. Second pair is Goulet Mailloux. You're going to be having one of the best top 4 in the National Hockey League in a couple of years. So yeah, like I said, ideal situation is we draft an elite forward. But like I said, if we end up with David Reinbacher at 7th or 6th overall, don't be pissed off. That's the most likely scenario if we pick there. And yeah, he's going to be a stud, so don't worry about it. So yeah, let me know what you guys all think about this in the comments below. It's been your boy, Tropical NHL. Have a nice rest of your day. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. And I'll see y'all for another video. Bye-bye.